Americans embracing electric vehicles, survey reveals optimism and growth. Imagine a future where the roads are dominated by sleek, whisper-quiet cars, powered not by gasoline, but by electricity. This vision is closer than you might think, according to a recent survey that reveals Americans are warming up to the idea of electric vehicles, EVs, more than ever before. But here's the catch. While optimism is high, challenges like cost and infrastructure still linger. These findings come from a nationally representative survey conducted by Big Village on behalf of the BMW Group in the US, shedding light on how consumer attitudes toward EVs and other emerging powertrain technologies are evolving. The results highlight a growing openness to electrification, but also underscore the critical need for continued innovation, education, and investment across the EV ecosystem. One of the most striking takeaways from the survey is just how much Americans value innovation when it comes to EV technology. A staggering 92% of respondents said they believe ongoing advancements in this space are important, with 30% going so far as to call it very important. What's even more telling is that over 30% of consumers ranked a reputation for innovation as the top factor they consider when evaluating an EV brand. This suggests that technological leadership isn't just a nice-to-have, it's a must-have for companies looking to win over drivers. And this is the part most people miss. Innovation isn't just about flashy features or futuristic designs. It's about creating solutions that address real-world concerns, like range anxiety, charging speed, and overall usability. But the survey doesn't stop at battery electric vehicles. It also explores consumer attitudes toward hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, a technology that's often overshadowed by its battery-powered counterparts. Interestingly, 58% of Americans say they're open to hydrogen fuel cell vehicles, with 14% describing themselves as very open and 44% as open. While awareness of hydrogen technology and the availability of supporting infrastructure still lag behind what we see for battery EVs, this level of interest is significant. It points to a growing curiosity among consumers and highlights a clear opportunity for automakers and policymakers to invest in education and infrastructure development. Could hydrogen be the dark horse of the EV revolution? That's a question worth debating. Let's dive deeper into some of the survey's key findings. For starters, the perception of EVs as niche products is fading fast. In fact, by 2025, 62% of Americans view EV buyers as early adopters, a sharp decline from 75% in 2023. This shift signals that EVs are steadily moving into the mainstream. However, affordability remains a major hurdle for many potential buyers. According to the survey, 40% of future EV buyers cite cost as the primary reason they haven't made the leap yet. This raises an important question. How can automakers make EVs more accessible without compromising quality or performance? Another interesting insight is the strong interest in hybrids and plug-in hybrids. A full 66% of respondents say they'd consider purchasing one of these vehicles before opting for a fully electric model. This preference reflects a pragmatic approach to transitioning to cleaner transportation options. Speaking of practicality, the survey also reveals that consumer expectations around driving range are becoming more realistic. For example, 75% of respondents say a daily range of 75 miles is sufficient, with 29% indicating that 50 miles would meet their needs. This trend shows that people are aligning their expectations with everyday driving habits, rather than chasing maximum range figures. Looking ahead, the adoption outlook is promising. A solid 55% of consumers say they expect to purchase an EV in the future, with nearly 1 in 5 planning to do so within the next 3 to 5 years. Additionally, awareness of public charging infrastructure is improving, with 47% of respondents now knowing where the nearest station is, an increase from 40% in 2024. These numbers suggest that as charging networks expand and become more visible, consumer confidence in EVs will continue to grow. Dr. Andreas Meyer, Vice President of BMW Product Management Americas, emphasizes the importance of delivering on the promise of the ultimate driving machine, regardless of whether the vehicle is powered by an internal combustion engine or an electric motor. This tagline represents more than just driving performance, he explains. It encompasses everything from range and charging speed to quality, fit and finish. As more consumers experience the benefits of EVs firsthand, it will become increasingly clear that there's no compromise in making the switch. Meanwhile, Mike Payton, Vice President of Mini Americas, highlights the brand's commitment to making sustainable driving both accessible and enjoyable. Mini's electric future is rooted in offering options that fit diverse lifestyles without compromise, he says. Our goal is to deliver EVs that combine everyday usability with iconic design and personality. This philosophy is evident in the recent launch of the all-new 2025 Mini Countryman SE All-4, which marks a pivotal moment in the brand's electrified journey. BMW Group's dedication to electrified mobility in the US goes beyond just producing innovative vehicles. The company currently offers 8 electrified models in the market, including 4 fully electric options, the BMW i4, i5, iX and i7, and 4 plug-in hybrids. Looking forward, BMW plans to begin assembling EVs at its plant in South Carolina next year, with at least 6 electric models set to roll off US assembly lines by the end of the decade. Globally, BMW has already reached a production milestone of 3 million electrified vehicles, reinforcing its leadership in the industry. The rollout of BMW's next-generation Neue-Klasse electric vehicles will further elevate the brand's position in the market, set to debut in the US. Next year, starting with the BMW iX3, these vehicles will feature 6th-generation battery technology designed to deliver higher energy density, faster charging times, and improved sustainability. This advancement underscores BMW's ability to balance dynamic driving performance with extended range while reducing emissions throughout the vehicle lifecycle. To support widespread EV adoption, BMW and Mini are taking a holistic approach through strategic investments in infrastructure and digital innovation. Initiatives include Iona, a joint venture aimed at building one of North America's largest high-powered charging networks, plug charge capabilities that streamline the charging process, and ChargeScape, a collaborative effort to enhance energy management at home and across the grid. These efforts demonstrate the brand's commitment to addressing barriers to adoption and ensuring a seamless transition to electrified mobility. So, what does all this mean for the future of transportation? Are we truly on the cusp of an EV-dominated era, or will lingering challenges slow down progress? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Do you agree with the survey's optimistic outlook, or do you think there's still too much ground to cover? The US EV market, falling behind in the global race. The US is facing a critical juncture in the global electric vehicle EV race, and it's not looking good. Elon Musk, the visionary CEO of Tesla, has issued a stark warning. Without continued government support, the EV industry in the US could face some challenging times ahead. And the numbers don't lie. Tesla's recent performance is a cause for concern, with a significant drop in revenue and deliveries, the likes of which haven't been seen in over a decade. But here's where it gets controversial. While Tesla struggles, the global EV market is thriving. In the first half of 2025, a whopping 9.1 million EVs were sold worldwide, a 28% increase from the previous year. China leads the pack with over 5.5 million units, followed by Europe with 2 million. North America, on the other hand, lags behind with just 900,000 units, a modest 3% increase. The US market is clearly faltering, and the data from Cox Automotive paints a worrying picture. EV sales in the US declined by 6.3% in the second quarter, compared to the same period last year, totaling 310,839 units. This is the third consecutive quarterly decline since EVs gained mainstream popularity. Despite generous incentives, averaging $8,500 per vehicle in June, consumer demand remains lackluster. Tesla's global deliveries took a hit too, dropping to 384,122 vehicles in Q2, a 13.5% decline year-on-year. Meanwhile, BYD, a Chinese competitor, reported impressive growth, overtaking Tesla in global BEV market share for the quarter. General Motors and Ford also increased their EV sales, but the overall US market is struggling to keep up with the global momentum. And this is the part most people miss. The US policy environment is rapidly shifting. The big, beautiful bill signed by President Donald Trump eliminates the $7,500 federal EV tax credit as of October 1. This move is expected to cause a short-term boost in Q3 as consumers rush to take advantage of the benefits before the deadline, followed by a significant slump in Q4. Additionally, the infrastructure gaps, with a lack of fast charging ports, could further dampen EV adoption, especially outside metropolitan areas. Globally, the EV market is thriving, with China leading the way, accounting for over 60% of global new energy vehicle output. European markets are also seeing an influx of Chinese brands offering low-cost BEVs that are challenging traditional automakers. This divergence in the global EV landscape could have significant implications for the energy sector. Utilities that were banking on rising EV-related electricity demand may need to adjust their projections downward, while battery producers in the US could face excess capacity if demand softens. So what's next for the US EV market? Q3 might provide a temporary boost, but the future is uncertain. Tesla's ability to reposition itself with a lower-cost model and deliver on its robo-taxi promises will be crucial. For now, the US is playing catch-up in the global EV race, and it remains to be seen if it can regain its leading position. What are your thoughts on the future of the US EV market? Do you think Tesla can turn things around? Or is the industry headed for a rough patch? Feel free to share your opinions and predictions in the comments below.